Hi, this lesson is going to be on a Willie Brown song. It'll basically just be a redo of Future Blues because I did a lesson on Future Blues probably, well, it was a long time ago now, probably about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago or something like that. And revisiting it, I realized that there were definitely some holes that I just didn't realize at the time. Excuse me. So I thought it would be good to redo. To get this song going, you'll have to get your guitar into open A Spanish tuning. I don't know if my guitar is actually in tune per se. What I did is I just kind of tuned to his guitar on the recording. So what might be best is if you just tune to my strings. Here's my low A, or low D. Alternatively, you can just go to the recording and use his tunings. Alright, you'll be good to go after that. I'll go through the song once and then, as always, we'll get into the lesson after that. Okay, so this is just going to be a disclaimer that it's a tough song to learn entirely, but we'll take it in pieces, and excuse me while I take out this thing. Alright, so the way we'll start out with this is this line. Now, what it basically is a 3-string thing with your middle finger fretting the 3rd fret of the bottom string and your ring finger fretting the 3rd fret of the D string. Those are just octaves. And then you'll be also plucking the G string. And what happens is you just bring these 2 fretted notes down. 2, 1, 0, all the while plucking that G string. Of course, though, there's that right hand thing that goes along with it, and what you'll want to do is just get under there with your thumb, and you get this snap from the string popping off your thumb and slamming against the fingerboard there. Alright, so then you just do that 4 times. And then what happens is he goes, I guess 3 times, and then you do this. And then you get into this. Before we get into the 4 chord though, that little thing, that will just be snapping the bottom string at the 3rd fret, and then sort of hitting a cluster of strings starting at the D string with your thumb maybe, and then sweeping across treble side, and then another one of those clusters, another. Again, bottom string snap, cluster, sweep, sorry. So with the sweeps, you're just doing this. And then in between each of those sweeps, you're hitting some of these strings, mid-range strings starting at the D string. And after you do all that, then you do another snap to seal it off. And with a little bend. Alright, so to go through that whole first bit again. Alright, now we're ready to get into the four chord. And what will happen here is just bar across starting at the D string at the 5th fret. And then, you know, you could do Robert Johnson stuff like that would also be using the same sorts of fingerings. But in this case it'll be Willie Brown's way of doing it, which is so that'll just be hit one of those clusters again with this bar, but starting at the D string. Sweep. Again, only using the bar. Now this time you'll be coming up maybe with your pinky or 3rd finger up to the 9th fret, 8th fret, and just doing a little tiny bend and then back. And then what he does is one of these where he hits the A string, sweep, and then one of these snaps on the 3rd fret of the bottom string. So again, grab A string, open, alright, so restarting. He repeats this little thing. Now rather than doing this, he doesn't do that on the 2nd time. He waits 3 beats. So that's what's weird about it, is that it's almost like a bar of, if you wanted to count out the beats, it's like a bar of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Took me so effing long to figure out. But then if that was vague, I'll recap that entire 4 chord section. 2nd time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So for those 3 beats, you can kind of do whatever, just like strum and shit. He's singing, so it's, if you're playing the guitar, only the guitar, it'll be more awkward, maybe, to just kind of do something during those 3 beats. But they are 3 beats, and it's weird like that. So once you're done with that 4-chord section, he does this, as you heard. So on the bass side, he just does this. So A string, E string, A string, and the D string. And then in between each one of those bass notes, he does one of these, which is a double stop between the G string and the B string. And then you just do a double stop bend then, so it's open. And then a double stop bend on those same strings but on the 3rd fret. So A, E, A, D, and then one of these. So now just so that we've got everything together, we can start this from the 4-chord now. 1, 2, 3. As you heard there, the way you'll have to finish, or if you want to play like him, you'll want to finish that thing with the open string. There's that D string. And then what he'll do is this. So what that is kind of strike the bottom string. And then I just do one of these, some of these with the 1st finger. Now that chord shape is just open E, 1st fret of the B string, 2nd fret of the G string. So again, here after that is another weird part where he does this. These are all details that I probably totally missed in that other video. But after you finish with these sweeps, he plays around here again. But the time is, again, the rhythm and the bars are just, they're very calculated, but they're just not very intuitive. So he's not doing it by accident, is what I mean. So he'll do this. So open D string, and then one of these. Bend, open. And then he'll go A, D. And then finish it with D, and then a double stop with the G and B strings. So, to go through that again, like that. So, on the bass side, it's like this. Treble or lead side, it sounds like this. Then combining it, it sounds like that. So coming out of these strums, Alright, so it's a bit convoluted, and trust me, it took me a long time to figure that one out, so don't feel too ashamed to just rewind, but I'll just move on now. So after that, he goes right back into this. The rhythm's a bit different than from the intro, because he'll go. So you can just sort of hear that. So bass line, treble side. So he kind of lays or sits down on this one for a little longer, and basically takes some time on this third fret, like borrows some time from the second fret. So on the second one you won't be hitting the treble side. You just go pass through down into the first, if that makes any sense. Then he'll quickly do one of these, or he might go. Anyhow, it's and he'll go right back into a new chorus. But to finish that, just open A string, some treble strings, and then same thing but with a root on top. That'll be with the 5th fret on the top string. So there's a lot of detail in this song, and it takes quite a bit of time. So accordingly, just take your time with it. Eventually it'll come, and once it does come, it's a lot of fun to play just because of the percussive qualities to the song. I'm trying to put it into words, but obviously it can't be done. It sort of speaks for itself, and it's a great tune to learn. Thanks for watching.